Welcome one, welcome all. It's the inaugural episode of Kenstalk Twitter 10. Oh my goodness, it's 8:20. 8:20 will be the first day of Twitter 10. I'm going to do one of these every darn day until I can't do them anymore. And they're going to be a lot of fun. What the Twitter 10 is it's the 10 people that I follow on Twitter and what they're doing. And I sprap all their tweets. And if you don't know what a sprap is, you're probably in the majority because I invented the word. But it has to do with keeping track of stuff in Microsoft Excel. So I've got a top 10 list. I've got 10 people that I follow. They are, in this order, Ray Kurzweil, Kurzweil AI News, Seth MacFarlane, Elon Musk, this is Stephen Colbert, Stephen at Home, SciShow, Whiskey and Feet, Bob Richards, Jon Stewart Books, that's right, oh geez, Corolla Boards, Tar Basket, and honey, I'm recording. She just doesn't listen. Okay, this is a distribution of today's tweets by all these people. Now, the goal of Ken's Twitter 10 is to go through this and pick the best tweets, probably really the best tweets per number of tweets that these people put out every day. Find the best stuff, rank them, and keep these people up on the list, and then kick out the people who either aren't tweeting or aren't tweeting anything good. And what I got was a suggestion from the good old Germany or Florida. Germany or Florida, I've known him on the Adam Kroll message board for many a year. He's annotating my audios on SoundCloud, which means he's adding little notes in. It's almost Sprapping itself. It's awesome. He's adding little notes at certain audio points in the audio files that I post. It's very funny and very cool. And he said, well, if you're going to do your Twitter 10, you better add Dad Boner to your follower, to the follow list. And sure enough, I went here and I found Dad Boner. And every episode, we're going to add one tweeter and remove one of the other ones that's on the top 10. Dad Boner is a guy named Carl Welzine, and the first tweet I saw from him is, if you're gagging on your own backdoor wind, it's time to consider medical attention, you guys. That's good enough for me to add him to the list. I always trust Germany or Florida. Germany or Florida, by the way, is a play on an old Adam Carolla bit where he takes crazy stories and you identify whether or not they took place in Germany or Florida, because both of those places are disturbed in their own manner. However, it's sometimes just difficult to tell what's Germany and what's Florida. It's probably all Florida now. Anyway, so Dad Boner, as you can see, Mr. Dad Boner, Mr. Carl was, you're getting a follow from me. And when you get a follow from Ken on Kenstalk on the Kenstalk Twitter 10, well, you know what happens? All of a sudden, my followers go to 11, and that means somebody's got to go. So who's it going to be? Well, let's dig through the Twitter list and find out. First of all, Kurzweil AI News is going to be really tough to unseat. They are my favorite tweeter by far. That's Ray Kurzweil's AI company, I guess. Now, when you hit expand here, I have a pivot table. I've got a bunch of tweets that I dumped in this Twitter data dump. These are all the different tweets, and I wrote a little code to extract this stuff pretty fast because that's what I do. And as I dig through Kurzweil AI, all you can see is, by the way, you can see that 50% of today's tweets are from Kurzweil AI. You hit this plus, and all of a sudden you're going to open up and you're going to get a bunch of tweets that you can look at once Excel stops freezing on me. It's time for Excel 2010 on this computer. Excel 2012, which is coming out, by the way, Mr. Bill Gates, who I no longer follow anymore, because all he talks about is malaria. But anyway, let's shrink these, and Excel's been kind of slow because we're doing so many things with it. Okay, so let's take a look at Kurzweil's tweets. Virus-like nanoparticle built to target tumors. Yeah, targeting cancer is going to be down at the molecular nano level. We're going to be able to attack it really efficiently rather than just dumping a bunch of dish detergent down your throat and taking chemotherapy, which kills a whole lot of different cells. We're going to be able to target things specifically. Kurzweil AI is on top of it, so yeah, I believe it. Aphid insects battery backup stores solar energy. Aphids may have a rudimentary sunlight harvesting system. Yeah, I mean, so many ways to store energy. You hear about one every single day on here. D-Wave quantum computer solves protein folding problem. 128 qubit D-Wave. What that's all about is there was a guy, a couple of people that built the program, computer software game to have people folding proteins, which is a complicated. Proteins are the end product of what your DNA and RNA produce. The base pairs of your DNA, the code somehow works its way into a protein, which is sort of a physical thing that your body is made up of. I think there are millions of different types of protein strings, and they're all kind of weird shaped bonds of molecules, and chemicals, right? Weird of elements, and we didn't have, I guess, previous to this story here, we didn't have a way to figure out how these proteins are folded. They're such really complex origami of elements, and you can't really tell what the best way to build one is, and it gets very, very complicated. I won't go too far into it because I don't even totally understand it myself. But there was a game called created to fold proteins, and I guess they built a D-Wave quantum computer to do that because people were doing it. People were playing the game trying to fold these different proteins to make them look like certain things, to make them look like certain proteins, because you're able to to cure viruses and stuff when you understand the shapes of these proteins, because you can build a medication that is a receptor to it in a proper form, and you can bond to the protein. You can do all sorts of different things. So I guess they created a computer to do this, because computers are better than people, and they will be even more better than people later in the future. So I believe that. Electronic readout of quantum bits, Bitronics. I don't know much about quantum computing other than it's complicated. Major advance in generating electricity from wastewater. Awesome. Awesome. Molecular movies may accelerate anti-cancer drug discovery. Yep, killing cancer. Singularity Summit 2012. The Singularity, when robots become smarter than humans, what will we do? And more powerful in every way. That's the Singularity. Create the future. Open to the public. I might click on that, so I could just copy this domain and paste it, even though it's not active right here in my pivot table. The UBI, always voice activated computer UBI. So what's the best one of these Kurzweils? Well, the Singularity Summit is something interesting. I might go to there. That's probably my favorite. So I will make that yellow and say that that's my favorite right now. And shrink it. Yeah, it's like I said, going to be tough to unseat Ray Kurzweil. He's just jam-packed with new technology information, which is just feeding my brain. So he's one of my favorites. Next is Whiskey and Feet, which is an Adam Carolla message board guy, a guy named Anthony, the mayor of Plentywood, Montana, which is a very funny inside joke. There is no Plentywood, Montana. That's an Adam Carolla joke. Although I thought there once was when I interviewed Teresa Strasser many years ago. I told her that the mayor of a Montana town hangs out on the Adam Carolla message board. And little did I know I was totally fooled. So let's see what Whiskey and Feet. He has thrown 7 tweets up, and let's wrap the text here so that we can see what his tweets are. He's tweeting Rainn Wilson from The Office. Free meth for the office pool. Look who's directing. I don't know what that is. It might be a picture. We may have to start following these things. Anyone know where I can get a very cheap rickshaw in the Bay Area? That's not going to be helpful. Gained a pound this last week. Need to not be such an asshole this week. Interesting. Image. Where is this? Hate when I see an awesome picture of someplace I want to visit, but there's no descriptor. I can't tell where it is. I don't know. These are not strong tweets, Whiskey and Feet. I hate my legs. There, I said it. I want to join Red Hot Society. Can we make it happen? This is not a strong showing today. What's my favorite one? I don't know. Probably something to Rainn Wilson. Free meth for the office. I'll have to check that out. I don't know what that means. But yes, not a strong showing from Whiskey and Feet. Whiskey and Feet right here is hanging out in number 6. Yeah, there's nothing good there, but there isn't too much below him, so we're not going to move right now. Seth MacFarlane, I've been catching a lot of his tweets lately. Let's all drink to the great Phyllis. Oh, really? Phyllis Diller died. See? Look at this. Important information from Seth. I'm assuming Phyllis Diller died, because why else would be... Yeah, he's going to miss his mom. That must be the case. Seth MacFarlane, hanging out at number 2. You're going to stay there. One of the most talented individuals I have ever come across. To sit and watch Family Guy and see him do Stewie's voice, and which is not a good impression. Peter Griffin's voice, Brian, all of them at the same time, and all the writing, and which is a truly talented individual. He's going to stay up there for a while. Dave Foley I assume that's Dave Foley from the old Canadian sketch comedy group Kids in the Hall, and that was retweeted by somebody because I'm not following Dave Foley. So this is interesting. Now I'm getting a hold of somebody I did not even following due to the nature of the retweet. I believe it was retweeted by Whiskey and Feet. I don't know. This is an angry. I don't know. I don't know what to do with these people, but we are going to get these. I guess these are possible people that can be added to the list. SciShow, that is a Hank Green science show on YouTube, and I am a huge fan of the SciShow because he does a great job of explaining complex issues through some animated shorts. They're like usually under 10 minutes. And his tweet here is, Hank briefs us on, it's going to be a link to a video of a fascinating project that aims to map the anatomical and functional pathways of the brain. What's more interesting than mapping the brain? Fantastic tweet. You know, they're doing experiments now where they're able to put you in a functional MRI machine and you can imagine something, you know, imagine waterfalls or whatever, and they're able to regenerate that image by reading the electrical impulses coming out of your brain and somehow figuring out what they are generating as an image in your head and then putting that up on a screen. It's really incredible what we're getting to. So, SciShow, of course, I'm going to bump SciShow ahead of Steven at Home is what I'm going to do, because I'm very impressed with Hank Green, and I'm going to continue to be impressed with Hank Green. So Steven at Home is going to move down, SciShow is going to move up. Boom, boom, boom. Ironically, moving around my own little board as Stephen Colbert has his own board that he uses to do this type of thing. This is another way to do it digitally. So what we have is we have a bunch of people, obviously, that did not post up. Now, I've seen a lot of posts from Elon Musk, and this Bob Richards is a science guy, and I've seen some posts from him. Nothing from Stephen at Home today. And here are our issues. Who are we going to take off here now that we're going to add Dad Boner, right? Dad Boner's going to replace everything. He's one of the people I'm following now, so we're going to have to unfollow someone. Yeah, we are. So Dad Boner, who are you going to replace? Carl Wesleyan at Dad Boner. I guess I should use that name, right? I should be using this name. Well, we're going to have to go through the remaining people, and who's going to be the first person eliminated on episode 1? Hardbasket is a good man, and he will stay on, even though he doesn't tweet much, and he's probably going to go soon because he doesn't tweet much. If you don't tweet a lot, you're going to get knocked off this list. Elon Musk definitely staying. Stephen Colbert, I've seen some stuff definitely staying. Bob Richards is staying. So it's between these two. Corolla Boards I followed just because I found it and I'm all over it. So let's do it. Jon Stewart Books is probably not even, I know it's not affiliated with The Daily Show. Guess what? Dad Boner's taking over. Dad Boner is joining the crew. Jon Stewart Books has been eliminated. Jon Stewart, I love you, man. I love you. But your tweeting account, I don't care about your books. I don't even read. So you're done. And you are the first person eliminated on 8/20 episode 1 of Ken's Twitter 10 Sprapathon. Every day, we're uploading this every day. I'm going to export those tweets every goddamn day, and we are going to get a ranking, and this list is going to grow, and it's going to be awesome. And if you want to be followed by Kenstalk because you think you're interesting, maybe even more interesting than Dad Boner, who has just been added to the list, who's jumped up to number 8 out of nowhere. If you think you should be followed by Kenstalk, well, you need to tweet me then, man, because I might just add you. So, Kenstalk out.